Test number 1, coast to coast refrigeration tutorial video on how to change or clean your air conditioning filter aboard your aft cabin motor yacht. As you can see, we're aboard here my boat, the Saddle Up, which is a 41-foot aft cabin motor yacht. It's kind of dirty on board. We've been living here for over a year now and started our own refrigeration company aboard our boat, and mainly working on boat refrigeration, air conditioning, ice machines, and other type of refrigeration equipment that might be out there. But I thought it might be beneficial for us to put just a little video on how to do some basic simple stuff, like changing your air conditioning air filter or cleaning your air filter depending on what type of air filter you got. So let's start, and first of all we will head down into the aft cabin. Hope the bed's made up. As you can see, going down, and in our case our air conditioner is located inside of the closet, so you may have to move some things out of the way, like the vacuum cleaner, dirty clothes, whatever. I'm not sure if you can see this very well. It looks kind of dark on the screen, but there is our air conditioning return air grill, where all the air is sucked in through these louver doors on both sides when they're shut, which is 90% of the time, and in through just that small space there that has a few screws in it. So let me get a screwdriver and we'll take that off. Okay, this is better. I hooked up a tripod so we can actually get in here and get this set up. So first we'd want to remove the grill. Now your grill may be put on here in a number of different ways. In our boat it just happens to be a few screws, and I always like using a screwdriver as opposed to a drill. The wood, because you have to take these out so many times, can become stripped out, and then you got, to figure out a different way of mounting your grill back in here to protect the air conditioner itself. But you don't have to take the entire closet apart just to get to your basic air filter. Once that's removed out of the way, now you can see your air filter. And the air filter is here, just this piece here, with two little tabs that you'll want to just fold down out of the way. They can be kind of stiff because there's a piece of like plastic holding material back there to prevent that from getting damaged. And then your sensor is down here, and it senses the actual air temperature coming back to your unit. So once you get that pulled out of the way, just gently remove it. Now our filter, as you can see, is just a sponge type material. It doesn't trap a lot of particles, and you can see a little dirt to it if you look close enough, but not a whole lot. I just cleaned this recently. You can also see that it has like a wire bar here that goes in the back to keep this stood up in place so it covers it. And this would be your evaporator coil. Now whatever gets through your filter gets to the evaporator coil, and of course then your unit's no longer very efficient and you can't get enough airflow back through it. And in this situation, because I changed this unit out a few months ago, we really should come in here and cut this out as large as the opening of the evaporator. Now is that critical? No, not necessarily. But the better the airflow, the more air exchange we have going across the evaporator coil, the better the job the unit will do and the more efficient it actually is. Now on these filters, they're relatively simple and basically just use a little light dish detergent or soap, wash them, let them dry as much as possible. You can see the plastic. Now it's like an expanded metal, but it's plastic that prevents it from getting sucked in there too far. And once it's dried relatively good, if it's got a little dampness to it, it won't hurt it. It will just get plugged up faster. And I recommend changing these things or washing them, depending on, you could have a throwaway type depending on the filter media, and then at least checking them every 30 days. If you just check it and see how much dirt it's got to it, then you'll have a better idea how often you need to do this. Usually just a small amount of dirt like this, I'm not going to wash it this time. There's not enough dirt there. It's just basically dust, and that'll happen relatively quick because this return is on the floor. And of course, most of our dirt and stuff, because we have dogs on board getting the vacuum cleaner in and out of the closet and things, they get dirty kind of fast. So some dirt being trapped in the filter is just a good indication that your filter is actually working, but it also increases surface area, and it will actually start collecting more dirt on top of the dirt that's already there. And that's really the benefit, is to keep most of this dirt out of the evaporator coil. Again, airflow is a key on boats. We don't want to use up a lot of power consumption because we're not getting air or air exchanges back across that coil. So the sooner and the faster we can get these things cleaned, or the more frequent, I should say, that we get them cleaned where we got good airflow across there, the more comfort you'll find that your air conditioner will give you. So, and then of course, obviously, it's just a matter of reinstalling it once you got it cleaned and dried or replaced. You could replace this with a fiberglass filter media. Some of the pre-pleats filters will not actually give you that option. And by the way, there is another little tab just like this one on the front. You can push on this pretty good, but you don't want to beat it in there because that coil is aluminum. And then just flip your little tab back up so it doesn't fall off. And it fits on there pretty good. Looks like that'll hold up in place. Once that's in there the way it is and installed, put your grill back on so it does, nothing gets damaged in there basically. It only takes just a few minutes. The longest part is really letting that type of filter media dry out. Most of the boats that I've worked on have a washable type filter. I don't really recommend changing them over to anything else because most of your fiberglass spun material, all of those things only really trap somewhere between 7 to 10% of all matter that goes through them. So unless you got an issue with allergies or an excessive amount of dirt, I can't imagine that being true on the water, but possibly, depending on the location you're in, that you need to change any clean or go with a bigger filter, or kind of construct some sort of filter box that would house a MERV 8 or something of a little bit more potent, stronger type filter to stop most dirt. Well, that'll do it for changing the filter out in an air conditioner on an aft cabin motor yacht.